Шановне спадарства, вітаю вас з Беларусі і выражаю падзяку арганізатарам канферэнцыі за запрашэнне ў яе ўдзеле. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I want to introduce you a report presentation where some fragments of musical works will be included. I will be exclude some citation from the report for saving time. They will be included into the publication. More than 70 years separate us from the Holocaust, the memory of which has not only been preserved in archival documents, the survivor's personal narratives, works of art in a broad sense of the word, provide a powerful source of evidence and memory. The theme of the Holocaust has been presented in a number of music compositions created in the former Soviet Union. However, due to the anti-Semitic ideology in the USA, those compositions had been described as work dedicated to the Great Patriotic War, the latter being the term for the World War II in the USA. There are not many authors who have addressed to a theme of Holocaust. Partly, this theme is directly linked to the personal or family tragedies. They tell stories of the Warsaw and Wiener ghettos, prisoners killed in the Second World War. Among them were Mieczyslaw Moishe Weinberg, Lev Abelevich, Eddie Tyrmand, Henryk Wagner, and some other former students of the Warsaw Conservatory. After the Nazism had occupied Poland in 1939, they continued their education in the Belarusian State Conservatory. While Moscow became a new motherland for Weinberg, Belarus became the native house for Abelevich, Tyrmand, and Wagner. Another group of composers had steadily included the underlying memory of their people tragedy into a large context of their creative works. Those were the composers of different generations, all born before the World War II. Among them were Grigory Fried and Alexander Galich, both of Moscow, Konstantin Klebanov, Kharkov, Isaac Schwartz, St. Petersburg, Vladimir Khmelnytsky, Riga, and Zlata Tkach, Moldova, Bessarabia. The composers of younger generation were born during the war or right after it, such as Alexander Vustin, Mikhail Bronner, Sergei Berinsky. All three were Moscow-based. Oleg Sonin from Belarus, Evgen Stankovich, Ukraine. The Holocaust theme gained importance in the music of Dmitry Shostakovich, who had caused to take a position of human rights advocate in the Soviet art. The list of aforementioned thematic works included over 30 pieces of music created in the post-war period, or considered part of those appeared in the time of oppression as a gesture of civil protest. The majority of such works became a true evidence of the composer's spiritual defiance, reflected in a number of documented performances and publications of such musical works. The first works of the Holocaust appeared in Moscow in the period of the World War II. In 1943, Dmitry Shostakovich invited Weinberg to Moscow. Weinberg wrote Yiddish cycle children's songs, embracing the world of a Jewish child. The first four songs tell a story of a child life in the pre-war world. The last song is an opposition where the death is embodied through the offhand. In Weinberg's creation, the Holocaust theme was one of the main. It's connected with personal tragedy of the composer who has lost his parents and a younger sister who has taken out from Warsaw to Trosteniec, a concentration camp near Minsk. Another work was created during the war in 1944. Both composer Grigory Fried and musicologist Yakubov referred to the Holocaust theme. It is the second piano trio by Shostakovich. dedicated to the memory of the composer's friend Ivan Syvertinsky, who have passed away in Novosibirsk, Russia. One of the most credible ways through which the Jewish theme came into Shostakovich music was his friendship with Moshe Weinberg. A considerable number of Jewish works were created and performed in period of World War II. However, the new anti-Semitic campaign started soon after the war led to oppression of all forms of the Jewish culture life and arrest, humiliation, or execution of its key figures, composers Weinberg and Weinberg, musicologists Moshe Beregovsky and Victor Delsen were among numerous victims of the persecution. One of the works banned by the Soviet authorities was Kharkov-based composer Dmitry Klebanov, First Symphony Baby Yar. The premiere performances of the symphony took place in 1947 in Kharkov and Kiev. Soon after that, in 1949, the composer became the object of the state persecution. The professor of the Kharkov Conservatory, the chairman of the Kharkov branch of the Union of Composers of Ukraine, Dmitry Klebanov, was dismissed from all the position he had taken. The symphony was not recommended for performance and remained unperformed for another 45 years. It saw the stage again only in 1990, when Igor Brashkov conducted it in Kiev and then other cities in Ukraine. Stalin remained in human memory for a long time, but the death of the dictator did not change the mind of many Communist Party functionaries overnight. Even the Khrushchev thaw that followed soon in really did not make a miracle happening. Music about the Holocaust eloquently testifies to it also. The Soviet works on the Holocaust dating back to the late 1950s through early 60s year often considered to be dedicated rather to the Great Patriotic War. This theme was especially topical in the republics that suffered great losses among the civilians, the course of military operation. Composer works are considered from such standpoint in the musicological literature in Belarus, for example, musical composition Wagner and Lev Belyovich, some of symphonies of Weinberg. Only the knowledge of a context of the created music, attentive studying of the poetic and musical text allows seeing other substantial aspects. Khrushchev's thaw, 1960s, has proved to the full-on performance of those works which become the brightest in reflection on the Holocaust theme. The scandal story with preparation for a premiere of the 13th Symphony Baby Yar Dmitry Shostakovich versus by Yevtushenko in 1962, known to everybody. The premiere of Weinberg's another composition, Cantata Diary of Life, dedicated to the memory of the children of Auschwitz, was ignored both by the press and musicologists. The cantata, however, took an important place in the composer's work. The cantata has paved the way for the Passenger, written soon after it in 1967-1968, Weinberg's first opera that he never saw on stage. Only the piano score was publication then. Passenger took place in the Svetlanovsky Hall at the Moscow International Performing Arts Center in December 2006. After 42 years, Weinberg's The Passenger began its stage path, thus bringing as author's long-time dream to life. 1998. In 1960s, the time of creation of opera, listening of those who survived in days of the Holocaust wasn't popular. However, at this particular time in the USA was published Diary of Anne Frank in Russian that served as basis for the would-be libretto of Grigory Fried, Hamanum's monologue opera. Beginning on the work was dated by June 2nd, the International Children's Day. The piano score was completed by the end of months. Just in 2 months, the full score was written. The opera was supposed to be performed at the big hall of the Moscow Conservatory in 1969, which did not happen. The first concert performance of the opera took place in Moscow in 1972 at the Composer's House. During the Soviet time, the opera was staged once, as late as in 1985 in Voronezh, Russia. It was resumed on stage only in 1911. The opera saw a much happier international life, having been performed in the Netherlands, United States, Austria, Germany, and Ireland. As mentioned in Fried's memoirs, staging of the opera in Vienna in 1998 was the best one. The notable singer Renate Frati sings on the spot them. Extensive work carried on by the Simon Wiesenthal Center, Yad Vashem Memorial, and several other international organizations, the Holocaust theme gained its full voice in the society and the art by 1970s, 1990s. In 1970s, in the Soviet composers had been created some works devoted to memory of Janusz Korczak. It is a poem in song Kaddish of Singabad Galich, a requiem of a Moscow composer Sergei Berinsky, written in his early period. Here is a fragment from Berinsky's requiem. In 1988, the Holocaust theme will discover itself in original work of Berinsky for prepaid piano, the Sonata Fantasia, The Belle of Warsaw. This sonata soon was included into the CD repertoire of notable pianists Vasily Lobanov, Russia, and Oleg Krimer, Belarus, Germany. In 1980s, along with Weinberg, Berinsky, other authors, also addressed to the Holocaust theme, Memory of Native Lost in a Theater of Warsaw has found the reflection in elegiacal improvisation for violin and piano of Edith Termont, Belarus. Last work of the composer, most for it expensive. In an interview, Termont noted that music was written spontaneously, as a cry of her heart. The Belarus-based composer Oleg Sonin considers the Holocaust to have begun long before the final solution was devised. It is therefore that he considers his second symphony, Lorca in Memoriam, to be thematically linked to the Holocaust. The symphony saw numerous performances in Belarus, while the score has not been published yet. Over the last several decades, the Holocaust studies have become among the most topical themes in the modern historiography. The collapse of the Soviet Union, followed by dramatic changes in the new independent states, may have well become determining factors in said process. Audience in Ukraine widely marks the memorials connected with mournful anniversary of tragedy in Babi Yar. Composer Evgen Stankovich and Dmitry Pavlichko created the Kaddish Requiem Babi Yar for the 50th anniversary of the tragedy. It was first performed in June 1991.
Великий Боже, ми з Твоєї згоди проходимо дорогу в Бабин Яр, де смертю Ти поєднуєш народи, щоб зберегти життя й свободи дар. В тиші плачі й зойки в тьмі глибокі, серця розбиті, ласкою горни. Даруй святому праху вічний спокій, благословенні, непробудні сни.
In 1990s, the Holocaust theme gains important theme in the work of Moldavian Jewish composer Zlata Tkac. Having visited Israel, she soon wrote vocalized poem Yad Vashem, first performed in Kishinev in 1994. The grief and sorrow are reflected in the weeping vocalized followed by rhythmical declamation of the victim children's names. A year later, Zlata Tkach created Requiem Kaddish in memory of the Jewish of Moldova and Transnistria killed in the Holocaust. As it is frequent to Kaddish, composers addressed direction the look in the past to tragedy of the Holocaust, remembering it in the present. One of Weinberg's last composition, his 21st symphony, was dedicated to the memory of the Warsaw Ghetto victims. In notographic directory, the name work is traced by a hand of the composer, which an inscription, Kaddish. On memoirs of relatives, the idea of this work is dated by 1965, time of creation of a cantata, The Diary of Life. The plan was carried out in 1991. We hope that the premiere of this music work of Weinberg's won't wait 42 years, as it happened with an opera, The Passenger. In the 1990s, the Holocaust theme was continued in several works of the Moscow-based composer Mikhail Bronner. His Yiddish Requiem saw its world premiere in 1994 in Berlin. The critics and the audience warmly received the work. A year later, at the International Festival of Music and Poetry by Jewish Authors in Yerevan, the audience has got acquainted with Bronner's other works, The Jew, Life and Death, the play for cello and piano. In sound of this music, the Holocaust echo, wrote the newspaper New Time Armenia. It, contrary connected with tragedy of the Holocaust, has its symbol. A symbol of Poland, Warsaw, Auschwitz, Treblinka, Ukraine, Babi Yar. Belarus, the concentration camp Trostinets, partisan group led by Belsky brothers, Moldova, Kosovotsky forest. Lithuania, the ghetto of Vilna. The Rumbula forest, where the prisoners of the Riga ghetto were massacred, became a symbol of the Holocaust of Latvia. 1996 was marked by the premiere of Requiem, The Bells of Holocaust by Riga-based composer Vladimir Khmelnytsky and the poetic publicist Leonid Koval. Latvian press has responded on a premiere of original work for the Nature, for vocalist and the instrumental trio. The end of the 20th century was highlighted by a premiere of another music work of the Holocaust in May 2000 in the big hall of the St. Petersburg Philharmonic Society. Performed was the concerto for the orchestra Yellow Stars by the States-based composer Isaac Schwartz. It has been also performed in Moscow, Kiev, Minsk, Gomel, Kostroma, and many other cities. Every performance was a big success. Some people listening to it on their feet. After another performance in Kostroma, Russia, the conductor Pavel Grishstein gave an interview where he said, "I felt an enormous responsibility when performing this work. I cannot tell if anything similar will be written in the 24th century, telling a story of the Holocaust in such a powerful way. Over the several last decades, the composers in the former Soviet Union have not addressed to the theme of the Holocaust. This is caused by a number of reasons, one of which is the immigration of many performers and composers to Israel, where they continue their work. Summary tables in which the genre aspect of works is reflection are of your attention. The aforementioned works are characterized by original creative choice and wrote in classically settled norms of a musical genre with great difficulty. In fact, it's possible to use definites the genre composition, genre transformation in connection with the work. Unconditioned interest from the researcher will be cast also by stylistic of the work devoted to a theme of the Holocaust. But it is a special theme which waits for the research and illumination. Thanks for your attention.